If you had one thing that would improve your marketing, your sales, your revenue, your client satisfaction, and your trainer satisfaction, would you take that on? And that's what we're diving into today. So, Dr. J, what is this one thing?
It must be quite the impressive one thing, 360 wellness coaching. And we're going to explore what that takes and what that looks like.
Welcome to Becoming the Ultimate Fitness Coach with the Jock and the Doc podcast, where fitness meets behavioral science. Join your hosts, Scott Schutte, a seasoned personal trainer, gym owner, and 360 wellness coach, and Dr. Janine Steester, a PhD behaviorist and expert in all things behavior change, as they share their combined expertise to empower fitness professionals like you. With practical tips, cutting-edge topics, and industry-leading guests, you'll learn everything from motivation and goal setting to habit formation and overcoming obstacles. Whether you're a seasoned fitness pro or just starting off your coaching journey, Becoming the Ultimate Fitness Coach is your essential guide to mastering the art of coaching and changing lives.
So let's start off with 360 wellness coaching, defining what it actually is. And so we like to talk about it is it's the time and space that you're someone's overall fitness guide. And we're going to break down what that looks like. So we're going to start with that time and space. So many times when someone comes in and they're looking to lose weight, be healthier, all these different things, a lot of times the typical gym approach is like, perfect, we're going to start working out. And working out is important for most people's goals, but it's just a sliver of what they overall need. And so when we create this time and space to sit down and figure out specifically what they want to accomplish, figure out specifically where they're at in life, figure out specifically what their personality is, their environment, all these different factors, we can figure out the best plan for them that they're doing inside and outside the gym. And that's when we become their ideal fitness guide.
Yeah, and if we think about it, it's really logical to have a separate time and space for this, because we know, and we see it in the gym floor, I know you experience it, is people have these questions while you're training them, in between clients even, and you're trying to run to the bathroom and they have one more question about
I go to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah. Something that when you have a back-to-back schedule, but anyway, they're asking questions about something they read, something that they want to try. Should they do this? You're trying to be responsive. You don't have all the information. They're not remembering everything to tell you as well. And it just gets fragmented. It's one more thing that somebody has to remember. You're not going to remember next time you see them everything that you said. They're not going to remember it either accurately, or they might misinterpret it. And so time and space means this is important enough for us to sit down, and we always purport in 360 Wellness, it's basically 15 minutes.
Yep.
So it's not a long meeting, but it's enough where it's targeted. We're really focusing on this. And that helps people ask the right questions, get the information from you, and kind of work on a plan. At the same time, we're not interrupting that training program that's on the gym floor. While somebody is sweating, trying to catch their breath, sets and reps, it allows their body to focus on that. And I talk about that a lot, is that we've got only so much bandwidth. And if our brains are working on our motoric coordination and performance, it's really hard then to focus fully on all of the cognitive load that these other conversations and things outside the daily lives have to do.
And if you've been doing this over a year, I'm sure you've experienced that training isn't enough for most people to reach their goals. It's great for getting people stronger, putting on some muscle, but the overall weight loss, body comp, overall health, it's really not going to take care of all that you need to there. And if you've been doing this long enough, you understand just these simple recommendations people don't follow. And the reason they don't follow is because they're simple on paper, but if they don't line up with that person, then it's just not a great recommendation. And it's tough for us coaches to give those great recommendations unless we ask a lot of more detailed questions. So having this time and space, it lets us ask more questions. So if someone's like, well, I need to increase my protein, what should I do? Well, if someone asks me that, I need to ask 3 or 4 more different questions before I can get to the right answer. I'm like, okay, well, what's your protein goal? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, well, we need to figure that out. And then what are you currently doing protein-wise? And now we know the difference between the two. And then maybe we create a stair step, because if the goal is 100 and they're doing 25 right now, like that's a big jump. So it's like, okay, let's add an extra 20 grams. So how do we do this? I'm like, well, have you ever done whey protein before? Well, yes, no, depending on these different answers, and you need to ask more, because if I'm just like out the get-go, it's like, just do some whey protein, and then you move on with your day, and they're like, well, I actually don't handle dairy very well, I can't do that, That wasn't a good recommendation. There's several nuances that we need to dive deep into to actually give them the best solution. Because if we're just giving these same recs for everybody, a few people might have some success off of it, certain times on their journey. But across the board, we need to have those one-on-one conversations to get the best plan for them.
Well, and if you think about it, we were talking about, let's talk about client retention. Let's talk about client satisfaction in that regard. If people need to be heard, one of the things that people value, and we were just the other day when we did our, one of our episodes, we talked about trends for clients and community and connection. People want that and need that. So they want to be heard. So right there, if you're my fitness guide that's actually listening, asking me questions, do you like leftovers? Are you a meal prep kind of person, or do you not like cooking, or are Sundays off limits to you and you just don't have time in your schedule? You ask me these questions, wow, you are really thinking about my lifestyle, what I need, and myself as a person. So that alone is going to increase that trust in what we know about people sticking with something and loyalty. It's about connection and building trust. So that is an amazing way to do that. And then if I get better results because you asked me those questions, you didn't ask me to meal prep and I didn't try it and failed again for the 50th time because I was trying to make you happy and then go back and forth, then my results will the needle start moving. I'm going to get excited about that. And so that's going to help with that. In addition, and you can speak to this obviously better than I can, but as I watch and work with coaches and trainers, if I know that I have this designated time with my client to actually spend on this and help them on that journey, I'm going to be a lot more satisfied about my ability to impact. And I really haven't heard coaches or trainers that say, I came into this field, but I have no desire to help people. Like some people it's 100%, some people 70%, but everybody wants to make an impact. And they can get paid for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so jumping on to the next one, we're going into minimal effective dose. So when we're talking about the 360 wellness, that separate time and space is very important. The other one is that minimal effective dose. So when people are coming in and we're trying to help them with that change to reach their goal, we're just giving them enough that they can have some results with it, but not so much that it's changed up the whole world. And they're so used to that, and they've had so much failure in the fitness space because they've gone 75 hard or Whole30 or some specific diet or like some big detox, cleanse, different thing. And it worked for a little bit, but not long term. And by us giving these small steps, they can see success week after week. And then with us having these regular check-ins on having these, because this isn't just a one and done like an initial consult. This is done, either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, so we can have those regular check-ins to keep adding or finding goodness of fit of the recommendations that we gave. That way, they can have success, they can see the impact that those changes are making, and over time, we can build them into exactly what they need.
Yeah, and we know that to build habits, to make changes, we do need to do small incremental steps. We need to tack things onto current habits or adjust current ones a little bit and then keep building. And that way it becomes part of our lifestyle. People don't have to think about it. It doesn't feel stressful, and it gives them more capacity to add on new and other behaviors. Because not only can we help clients have better success, but we can allow them to have better long-term sustained success. Because a lot of our clients will say, yes, I have lost weight, but I put it back on, or I did this before and it worked, and I tried it again now and it's not working. And they view themselves as a failure, but really their lifestyle has changed. So when they tried this specific meal plan, maybe a decade and a half ago, they didn't have kids, weren't married yet, had a 9-to-5 job, everything else they had control over. And now it's like life has exploded and there's a lot of amazing chaos in the world. And that approach isn't going to work anymore. So having that connection and having a fitness guide that can really spend that time and just build those small habits and celebrate those small wins is just an amazing ongoing process. And like you said, it's monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, how often that they need to have that connection with you to make those changes.
And the last big piece of this is more of diving into the root causes of unhealthy behaviors. And this is a big thing Dr. J has taught me, and that we've taught a lot of other coaches and gym owners, is figuring out why people are doing those unhealthy habits. And so as a young coach, and I was like this, and I see a lot of young coaches doing this today, we're like, well, if you want to lose the weight, just cut out X, Y, or Z. Not super helpful. In the slightly more advanced coach, and this is how I was before Dr. J came into my life, of like, well, let's find a replacement. But we need to find a replacement matched on what also serves that same behavior. And if we do that, we can create long-term effective changes. So having that time and space, doing that minimal effective dose and figuring out the root causes of their unhealthy behaviors, we can really transform people's lives.
Yeah, and it just goes back to that principle of any behavior that we continue to do is being reinforced somehow. It's serving us a purpose. And it can be anything from if you bite your nails when you're nervous, what's it doing? It's helping you with that nervousness, anxiety. It's giving you some sort of tactile input. Whatever it is, an odd or what you might call an unhealthy behavior, healthy behavior, whatever it is, it's serving you a purpose. That doesn't mean that there's not a different behavior that can also serve that purpose and also move you towards your goals more. And that's really what we're trying to figure out. So we always use the alcohol, the late night snacking as the easy examples. But if I'm doing that to get away from my day, to escape, to have that mental shift, and that's why I'm drinking alcohol, I still need that mental shift. I still need that escape. I just need it in a different way. And so with the EATS model, we look at escape, attention, tangible, sensory, those 4 cornerstones of why people do what they do, and figure out, oh, this behavior we want to adjust. Let's figure out what that's serving. And now let's find something that will also get that need met.
Okay, and so now to tie it into the beginning, the marketing. If you're adding this service, this is a way to stand out amongst all the other competition. So everyone else is going to be like, oh, my gym's better because we do this type of training, or here's some of my fit people. But this is a way you can be like, well, we're doing 360 wellness coaching. We're looking not just what you're doing inside the gym, but outside the gym. And it's not just marketing on like ads. It's also marketing in the sense of word of mouth for the clients that you're working with, because that's what's really going to spread of like, this place is unique. This place is different. Their touch point, their coaching style is very different. It's not just a workout. When it comes to sales, this is my favorite part, because I'm like, when people come in, I'm like, listen, there's a gym on every corner in town. It's not hard to find a hard workout. But what we're going to do is help you reach your goals by coaching you inside the gym and also coaching you outside the gym. And we also charge extra for this. This is built into our monthly membership model where they're paying extra to have this service. What's also nice about it too is all our coaches that are doing this and executing it, they get paid more hourly for doing it. So that improves the client satisfaction because they're getting that one-on-one attention, the trainer satisfaction because they get the time and space to actually work with people to make that impact, and they're making more money during that. So when we talk about this one thing that improves all this, this is that one thing. It's amazing the impact that it makes on your overall gym, the client satisfaction, your training and staff. So that's why we're so big on it, because it helps so many of these different avenues that helps you as a gym owner or trainer.
And a couple of things I want to also make a distinction is sometimes I hear people say like, oh, well, we do that at our gym because we do check-ins or accountability coaching or things like that. And there's a wide definition of what that is to different people. But what we seem to hear a lot is when you ask somebody, well, what is that accountability coaching or habit coaching or look like? It typically is a check-in of some sort of a text like, hey, how's it going? Are you getting your steps in? How's your water? Something like that, or a thumbs up or a thumbs down or just something like that. But it's not about building habits and really looking at their lifestyles. It's typically a preset program of things you check in with people on over a series of weeks. And it's a little bit of hope and prayer on that one. Because if that person's not executing it on the other end of your check-ins, they either may say, yeah, doing great, just because they don't want to disappoint you, or they don't want to disappoint themselves by saying it out loud, so to speak. And or if they're not, you know, what are people saying back? Well, keep it up, or you got this, or, you know, it's okay, one more week, you know, it's a due day, which are all positive things to say, but there is a big distinction here. The other part of this is that if I'm embarking on anything that's new, if I have a goal, I want some of it not to suck. And I'm just being real basic here, right? Is if I'm doing 10 things, I want some of it to be something that I enjoy, that's working for me. And where I'm going with this is we know that some of your clients don't love working out. They don't love moving weights, getting their heart rate up, whatever it is. Like it's something they'll do to get their goal, but they don't enjoy it like we all do.
Yep.
So if there's another part of this that I can pair with that, and for some people, the movement part needs to wait because they need to make some changes in their lifestyle and then get their bodies moving. But for those that are willing to get their bodies moving but don't love it, by having this one-on-one time with them to really understand their lifestyles and make a couple of things that isn't painful, that they might actually enjoy and seek success with, that makes great momentum for the whole thing to move forward towards that goal. Because, and I know you've seen this, but so many people come in and they associate it's got to hurt, it's got to suck for me to be healthy or fit. And that's not true at all. But if that's the only experience you've had, or you're naturally not wired just to love the gym, this is a nice way to round that out and make it a better overall experience for people.
And that brings up a great point too, because a lot of what we do with this type of coaching and how we market this is to the people that aren't currently into fitness. You see so much of the fitness space is everyone's competing for the same people that are into fitness.
Yep.
That 10 to 15%, the people that already like working out or that are already motivated to work out. I want to go against the people that are intimidated by it, that
Exactly.
have had failure with it, that don't like gyms. I want to make our facility, our services fit them so that they can have success with that. You hit that market, you'll have success in this industry.
Yeah, and what a gateway to get them to maybe over time feeling more confident, whether they're moving in your gym, somebody else's gym, or just taking their dog for a walk or spending time with their kids playing, whatever it is. What a great way to potentially really change the way that they view themselves and the things that they can do.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about 360 Wellness Coaching, put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next time.